So we're probably just going to have to sort of welcome everyone, and then you're going to have to ask them to click the link for the YouTube, or I can ask them.
Okay.
I just want to make sure.
I mean, you're doing things that we've never done before, so not.
My power connection is in YouTube. Okay, so what we're going to have to do is we get the people in there. I welcome them, whatever. Then I'm going to ask them to click the link. Thank God that we teach this stuff. And we have all these experts. You know what I mean? Because I don't know what this shit. Yeah.
I mean, I know some of this, but all the rest of it, not really. So this is what I would turn around to them so they can see.
Who?
The students, the potential students.
What do you mean turn around?
Share.
Oh, okay, share.
When I think of turning it around so that they can see it.
Right.
Yes.
And you know how to share your screen?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, you know how, what do you do? Well, you use Canvas.
Yeah. For what?
When you teach.
Teams.
Teams? Mm-hmm. Okay, and do you have a camera setup? Like.
We're so not used to
Is trying to navigate the. Okay. you understand? Yeah.
We're not, you have no power or something.
Yeah.
He told me to load this before. Should I put this on mute so that, because I hear us talking.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead, put on mute.
I'm going to mute it? Okay.
And she mutes all of us then, right? Like she's not. When I'm talking,
Yes.
are they hearing me on Teams, or am I talking and they're only hearing me on YouTube?
They'll hear you through YouTube unless you.
Because here's my thing is, we're starting on Teams, right?
Yeah.
So I need to welcome everybody, and I need to tell them to go to YouTube.
So you would do that through Teams then, and then you would.
Is this Teams or YouTube?
Oh, this is YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
My
how?
laptop is Teams.
Okay, and so if
The
I.
purpose of that is so you could share this screen.
Right, and
as
if.
they're listening through YouTube.
Okay, and if.
I've got a few good years left in me,
Right, and you say, you don't have to work every
Hi,
day.
Colleen, how are you?
You tell the agency, I work Mondays and Wednesdays,
Or if it's some kind of big thing where they say,
says,
I
yeah,
need you
she
here
has it
5 days in a
unmuted.
row for 10 hours.
Oh, yeah, and some
Colleen, if
are
you
in
can hear me,
person,
can
some
you unmute
agencies
your
say
mic?
that just because
This is
COVID,
David, how are
everybody.
you?
Not hearing you.
Is there volume? Our
Yeah, I
volume
just
up?
turned it up. I just turned it up. Let's see how it's connected. Let's try that. Can you hear us, Colleen?
I have a depot, but they want you in the office. That's fine. That's fine.
In fact, I'd rather kind of get out. I don't
You want to get
to.
out, you want to get dressed. You
Yeah.
wanna go.
I hear speaker real tech.
That's what it was on. Colleen, can you hear us? She's typing now. I can hear
We're
her.
not-
Oh, she
we're-
can hear
No,
us,
because
but we
what
can't
it
hear
is
her.
too
Oh, okay. All right,
is
fantastic.
you
Can you
wear
try
headphones, you
to,
can hear
we
very
can't hear the
well.
people.
You have a microphone with your machine, and the machine actually has audio sync in it. So if
Oh, she can hear us, but you can't hear her. Is your volume turned on?
Is your volume turned up, Colleen?
No, your volume.
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
I have it
Okay.
all the way up.
Oh, I heard a ding.
She wrote something else. She says, I am unmuted. Yes, she's.
Okay, and can you try to vocally, verbalize something? So we're having a volume issue, I think.
It would be 2
I
nights.
thought he said 4 nights.
No, it's 2 nights. The theory is 2 nights. It's a Tuesday and a Thursday night.
Oh, okay.
It's a Tuesday and a Thursday night, and then it would be dependent if there's another academic.
All right.
Okay, can I walk in front? I'm sitting next to you.
And I guess for the benefit of our virtual and our studio audience, my name is David Volpe. It is my pleasure to serve as Vice President of Enrollment for Five Towns College. And I welcome you here today. This is very, very exciting. Five Towns is very happy to take this court reporting program on and offer these opportunities to students. I know that everyone just wants to hear about court reporting, but I ask you to indulge me for about 15 minutes and let me go through a scaled down introduction that I'm going to use PowerPoint for, just to let you know a little bit about the school and the opportunities that exist here. Very brief agenda. I'm going to go over the college. We're going to do the court reporting information from those that know it best, and then we'll talk about next steps. You know, Five Towns College, we're located in Dix Hills, New York. We are celebrating the beginning of our 51st year as an institution of higher education. And when we ask students why they chose Five Towns, why they stayed, why they refer others, we consistently get these 5 responses of category. That we offer our degree programs, and this is probably the best example of any of them, with technology at the core. We are a very hands-on institution. certainly accomplished faculty, faculty that are experts in their fields. Affordability. We are very, very happy and pleased to be the most cost-effective private institution on Long Island. Even though this program is done virtually, we still hope that students will engage in our student life. We have a lot of activities, a lot of opportunities, and we have athletic teams that participate in regional conferences, et cetera. And we're really focused on career. You know, our students do not come here just to earn a degree and then go and languish at home. They come because they have a very, very decided career path, and we're the tool, we're the route to get them where they're going. And again, what a great example today. Just for your knowledge, we offer instruction in 8 main areas. You'll see court reporting here falling under the business division, but we also do business management, film and TV, interactive media arts, mass communications, music performance, music education, theater arts, and our liberal arts program. This slide just shows, I like to call our instruction focused. Most institutions, if you're going to go for an associate's degree or you're going to go for a baccalaureate degree in the liberal arts, you have about 75% of your training is liberal arts, 25% is more focused. Here at Five Towns, we're flipped. Our degree programs generally are about 75% of the credits are going to be direct in the major or major related, where only 25% are going to be in the core. This program very specifically has both an AOS and a certificate option. And in the certificate option, it's all 100% technology technical. Again, accomplished faculty, academic advising that leads you through. This is going to be sort of interesting because it's a pretty prescribed program. You're going to take credit 1 before credit 2, before credit 3. But we still assign all students to an academic advisor to provide guide, you know, throughout your time here. And we do have a student access office that works with students with disabilities. The students declare to the office, and we provide all the reasonable accommodations that we are able to do. All right, and is this going to work, I hope? This is just a quick video. They tell me that when I present, I'm very boring because I do not include multimedia. And if today is any example, if you saw the setup that we have going on here with the TV camera, et cetera, this is the pure definition of multimedia. But I want you to just sit back for one quick minute and see the video that they produced about Five Towns. Explains it much better than I do. And I hope there's volume. It's a lovely video. So strange. I always feel like I'm talking to myself. You know?
There's no volume
There's no volume on the...
on the videos, but Colin just...
Okay. Well, we'll skip it then, just for Colleen. There we go. I apologize for that. It is just an introductory video about the institution. I've really scaled this down today, trying to hit a 15-minute again, because I know what you really want to hear. But I think this is important as well for 24, 25, and for the remainder of 23, 24. This is the financial piece. This program is laid out in 6 semesters. The full-time rate for each semester with tuition and fees is going to be $7,000. This represents a substantial discount from our normal tuition and fees, which right now per semester are just over $15,000. This court reporting program is going to be, again, 7. And again, thinking of 6 semesters in the program, total cost out the door is going to be about $42,000 with potential increase over time, 43 or 44. Again, compared to right now about 125,000 for one of our baccalaureate programs and about 63,000 for one of our associate programs. For those of you that may be considering part-time, the part-time is going to be charged at a per credit rate, and that's going to be $575 a credit. So if you would only be taking the 6-credit theory course, you'd be looking at, I guess, about $4,000 for this semester, $4,500. Again, affordability. I do encourage you to consider applying for financial aid if you do not plan to pay this, just solely out of pocket. We do accept all forms of Title IV financial aid. I have up here the FAFSA, again, it's studentaid.gov, TAP through New York. Remembering that those of you who already do have a credential after your first baccalaureate degree, your first bachelor's, there is no longer opportunity for any type of gift aid in the form of grants, but certainly we participate in student loans as well. A number of our students, both traditional aged and adults, do choose to pay the balance through cash. We have the option to make one-time payments. Also, we do work with Nelnet for a monthly payment plan. Just simply taking a semester's tuition and fees, splitting out over as many months as possible, and then paying it that way if it works better in the budget. Again, I mentioned we do have athletics teams. We field both soccer and basketball for men and women. It's a nice way to engage. I know I come back some Saturdays and watch a game. We also have an esports program. We do have a full suite of student life and student activities. I encourage you, even though, again, virtually, for those of you that are going to be, close enough, visit. We have a phenomenal theater program that puts on 3 presentations, 2 plays and a musical every semester. We have a phenomenal music performance program. We have we go all the way up to doctoral level coursework and degrees in our music. And to see a symphony or an ensemble that is mainly music educators from across Long Island, completing their doctorate in their instrument, it's phenomenal. The push is engage with 5 towns, not only the program, please. And again, I mentioned very career focused. I know there's a huge demand for this program. Won't probably be that difficult to secure employment, but we do have the opportunity. We have a full range career service office, with resume writing, cover letter, interviewing skills. You pick it, we can help with it. And admissions. This is, again, I've spoken to all of you. I'm the nut and bolt man. And I'm just trying to make sure that everything goes in line for you so that you don't have to worry about what's outside the classroom once you're in. If you haven't had the opportunity to do so already, I do invite you to apply for admission at 5 towns, ftc.edu, top right corner, apply now. We need official copies of your transcripts. For those of you who have not earned a credential, we'll need the official copy of your high school transcript and then any and all college transcripts. For those of you who already have earned a degree of associate or above, we do not need the high school anymore. Just go ahead and submit your college transcripts. Right now, we're still in a coming out of COVID mode, so we weren't requiring much beyond transcripts for consideration for admission. And that will hold for spring. If you do intend to wait and apply for fall, we'll need a personal statement and a letter of recommendation as well. We do admit students on a rolling basis. We don't have a read date or wait. So basically, when your admissions file is complete with the transcript and the application, we move on to review and acceptance. And then we do have a $200 tuition deposit to confirm your space in a class. And again, that is not a fee. That's just attached as a credit to your first semester's balance. And again, that's the end. I promised 15 minutes. That was it. I'm going to be here the entire time. I'll certainly address questions. I apologize for boring the heck out of you, and the only light would have been the video that unfortunately had no sound. And now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce you to Michelle Houston, who is the leader of the band here in court reporting, and certainly the program faculty member that is going to walk us through everything that is and was and will be court reporting. So
Okay.
Michelle, take us away.
Okay, thank you. And it's our pleasure to come to Five Towns and bring the court reporting program to this institution. For those of you who don't know too much about court reporters work in various areas. They work at depositions, which is pre-trial work. They work doing the closed captioning on the bottom of your TV. They work with the hearing impaired in an area that some people don't know about, and it's called CART, Communication Access Real-Time Translation. And of course, you see court reporters at trials. If you watch a trial on TV or you see a movie with a trial, you'll see a court reporter. If you watch any of the C-SPAN on TV, you'll see court reporters on the Hill, they call that. The program that we have, well, basically we have two programs. We have an associate degree program, which is 65 credits, and we have a certificate program, 54 credits. They're both based on a 2-year time period. What differs? The associate degree program contains courses in what we call general education. College English 1, College English 2, an intro to psych, and a few other courses. The certificate program is geared basically for those people who possibly are doing a career change and are interested in getting out in the field as quickly as possible. Did you have any specific questions that you had about the program that I could address?
Me?
An exciting question, not a boring
Yeah,
question.
I know. I have to think of exciting questions. You know, I think it's just important to if you could talk about the commitment, because I've talked to many of the students who have called and prospective students, and I think that really, you know, this is not show up at class for X hours a week.
Exactly,
this
and
is
rest.
well beyond. Yeah. And talk about the speed progression and where you need to be.
All right. So the commitment is that you have to be disciplined. Okay. Court reporters finish school writing a speed of 225 words a minute. And that's not an easy task to accomplish. So as David said, you have to come to school prepared to work. And you have to do your due diligence when you're not in class. You have to practice. There are 7 days a week. Teachers say, okay, take 1 day off that you don't practice, but the other 6 days you have to practice. Right? There is no two ways about it. You have to discipline yourself. You have to allow yourself the time. If you have a very, very busy schedule, perhaps it's not the time to start the program until your schedule in one area is reduced. So that's the commitment that's needed. It's based on 2 years. And as you go through the 2 years, you're going to do different speeds. You'll start with a course in theory. Ms. Sumner is here. She's writing on her steno machine. She teaches theory. Theory is learning how do I write on this crazy little machine that has 26 keys. Okay? She will teach you how to write on that machine. When you finish theory, which is 15 weeks, you are able then to write anything. We write phonetically. After that, the following semesters, you go into speed classes, 40 to 60, 80 to 100, 120, 140, 160, 180, and the last class, 200 to 225. While you're in those classes, you write in different categories. Most people are going to be doing question and answer, such as at a trial or a deposition. But there are other areas where you will learn how to write literary. Why do I need literary? Court reporters work for the legislature where they are writing literary straight matter all the time. They're talking about, Suffolk County was one of the first counties to take out the plastics in bottles. There were meetings day and night about that. Court reporters wrote literary type of information. Jury charges. Every trial has a jury charge. You want to be familiar with what is a jury charge and the terminology that you'll hear in jury charges. So you work your way up to this 225 speed. While you're taking those classes, there are other courses that you will take. You'll take a procedures course. You'll take a medical malpractice course. So you take a terminology in medical. You'll take a lot of other classes that'll enhance your production. At the end, you do an internship. Internship is very, very important because you get to work with actual, what we call seasoned official reporters, whether you do it in a court setting or in a freelance arena, either one. And it also gives you the opportunity to network. You meet so many people while you're out there, and then maybe you determine at that point, I like freelance, I like the courts, and you decide what you're going to try. At this particular time, New York State, there's a shortage of court reporters in our court system, and they are revamping their testing so that when you finish the program, you no longer have to wait 2 or 3 years to apply to the court. You can apply immediately upon graduation and start an internship in the courts.
What happens? Now, these are just, you can ask questions as well. Yeah, no, exactly. All right, I don't believe it, and I'm honest, I don't believe I have the tactile skill to ever be able to pull this off. What happens if you have a semester that maybe you're lagging a bit behind and you need to, maybe a little bit of extra practice or a little bit of time, I'm talking about speed, to get over that hurdle and move on towards the 225. My understanding is this is not if you can't do 100, you're out the door next week.
Right.
This is a little bit of addressing there.
If you can't achieve a speed in that class, then first you have to look to yourself and you have to say, have I actually put in the time? A lot of students, the teacher will say to them, you're not progressing. Oh, I know, I really am not putting in the time. So you look to yourself and say, okay, I haven't put in the time. So then, as a school, as a college, we say to the student, your advisor would say, what can we do to help you? How can we help you? Do you need tutoring? Are you falling behind in a certain area of the speed? Are you definitely not putting in the time? Are you not using, we do briefs and phrases to help you write faster? Does that help? Would it be better if you had some one-on-one tutoring? And there are ways like that which we try to help the student move along. And Ms. Sumner might have something to say to that too. She teaches not only theory, but speed.
Right, of course. In the beginning, excuse me, learning theory is very time-consuming, and they have to be diligent to read the book, to practice everything that I'm going over with them. And if they're not getting something, tell me. I will sit with you after class and make sure that you understand what you need to do to go forward in the program. And they have to be diligent and they have to practice. That's really, but I will go out of my way to help any student that needs to learn something that they didn't get perhaps in class. Yeah.
And I've mentioned to everyone, this is a new program for the spring that we're bringing over former students from Long Island Business Institute, but also attempting to have a start. In full transparency, I need 12 students to be able to start fresh in the spring. If not, we would be pushing it off until fall. It's become clear to me from talking to those who have inquired thus far that it's the evening delivery that would be their interest for the spring semester. And just it's the theory class starts it off, right? So the scheduling initially, if you have a degree, you don't need the associate, you don't need the additional classes. The theory class would only meet 2 evenings a week.
Correct.
Timing?
Timing 6 to 10.
About 6 to 10.
Right.
And then if you needed the other classes for the associate's degree, then that could potentially be 1 or 2 other nights of the week that you would do in complement to this. And you mentioned a variety of employment opportunities, be they at the court, be they freelance at attorneys' offices, be it closed captioning or CART, I believe you called it. And I understand the demand from the New York Department of Labor. Do you have an average that a student who works in this role could be making on an annual salary, or a you know, I guess freelance on a part-time basis, an hourly rate that someone would charge?
Well, you don't get paid hourly, you get paid per page. Court reporters who do freelance work are paid by the page.
And what does that mean?
That means that a transcript has 25 lines on it, it's double spaced. So you get paid approximately, say, $3.50 a page. So it's dependent upon how long. If you were there for 2 hours, you could write 150 pages. So then your agency would pay you whatever your page rate is times the number of pages that you wrote.
Wait a minute.
Are you in the wrong
No,
profession?
I am. Did you see my jaw drop? Wait a minute. $350?
$3.50
Oh, thank God.
a page.
Okay.
Yes, but if they
When you
wrote,
said $350, I
But
was
if
getting,
they
I was
wrote a-
enrolling today. You understand?
if they wrote 150 pages,
Well, that's
times
amazing.
$3.50
No, I mean,
a
that's
page.
that's
because
amazing.
you have a skill. You have a skill
Wow.
that took you time to learn, and you dedicated yourself, and you worked very hard at it. You know, we have a lady sitting here in the audience with us, and she met a young fellow who is a court reporter. He's been doing it for some time now. That's how she became interested. Anthony.
Oh,
She became
okay.
interested in it, and he's doing very, very well in the freelance arena.
Now, I had, because there's a shortage of court reporters in all aspects, we had a couple of students that went on to criminal court in Queens. She ended up moving to Brooklyn or Bronx, I'm not sure exactly, but she called back to thank me because I was her theory teacher, and next year she's going to be making over $200,000 in the criminal court system.
Wow.
It's a very lucrative. You pay your dues.
It's also
Right.
You
how
pay
much
your
your
dues.
ambition levels are
Right.
too. You know, some
Yes.
people might have 3 kids and they only want to work 3 days a week, and that's nice in the freelance world.
Flexibility. It's flexibility. That's what it is. Do you want a job where you work for the unified court system and you have your salary, you have your pension, you have your time off? Do you want that? Do you want to do something as a second income in your home, where maybe you work 2 or 3 days a week and you supplement your spouse's income? There's all different ways you could do it. And since COVID came, it has also become the type of job where a lot of people work from home. They work remotely. Some attorneys like it. Some attorneys think this is great. If I have a client that's in California and I'm doing a depot, I don't have to fly that person to New York anymore. I don't have to house them in a hotel and feed them.
Oh.
We just get on Teams, get on Zoom, and we do our depot. So it's opened a lot of opportunities for reporters also. Workers' comp hires court reporters. So there are many, many areas where court reporters work.
Oh, that's great. Denise, do you have a question? Anything that you could add?
It was already answered before, but I was thinking, you know, first of all, if you move out of state, like I was saying, you have to be recertified in another state or, you know, or something like that. That was one of my questions.
And the question's about portability. If you have instruction at a New York institution and take the New York test to be able to do this.
We have no
Okay.
tests.
Oh,
Only your tests are in school.
okay.
New York, there is no license required in New York.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so New York, you need no license. You go into the court, you take their individual tests that they have for the Office of Court Administrators. However, if you move, you take your skill with you. You check with that state. Every state has a Court Reporters Association, or you can check with the National Court Reporters Association and find out the requirements for that state. Certain states want you to be, yes, a CSR, a Certified Shorthand Reporter. California, Illinois, they have requirements like that. New York doesn't. Some states require you to have a credential from the National Court Reporters Association of an RPR, Registered Professional Reporter. Check before you decide to move. What are the requirements of that state? What will I have to do? It might be just taking a test to be able to work in that state.
Colleen, do you have anything?
The only question that Colleen put out was what days of the week would classes be held?
Oh,
But we
Tuesdays and
haven't-
Thursdays? Is that?
Well,
Oh, Monday, Wednesday?
Night classes tentatively were Tuesday, Thursday evenings,
Okay.
yes.
right.
Okay.
That's the only question that, did you have something else, Colleen?
Well, and what we can do now is we can switch over to
Okay.
more of the technical, the demonstration. Audrey has brought do you call it a writer?
Writer?
The machine, it is going to write, just to show, I guess, off a little bit of this. Now,
And
this
it's
is
got
the
a
part,
English.
this is going to be where you need to switch back to Teams and certainly keep the YouTube feed open, but switch back to Teams because Audrey's going to share the screen and then take it from here
Can
as
you
far
see
as
my
explaining.
screen? Can you guys see my screen? It says I'm sharing it, so.
Oh, it's not, okay.
It's on my Teams. I'm sharing it on my Teams, so.
I'm going to come up and move in the back here at the screen. No, please. I think this would be the best
This is
way.
really for you to
We're
see.
learning and
If you don't mind
really.
being kind of on camera.
No, of course not. Now, just let me touch base. Colleen, you can actually see my screen now. Is that correct?
And she can hear you?
She wrote yes, okay,
Okay.
so. This is the software that we use, which is Stenograph Case Catalyst. My writer is a professional writer, which I can change the view, I could put my steno up if I wanted to look at a different view and just look at steno, which is what I do for normal theory students at the beginning, because I don't want them to read the English, I want them to read the steno, because that's what they're gonna be writing. But my writer can be any screen I want it to be. And as I write, this is a question. So what is your name? And then I answer, my name is Audrey. Where do you work? I work out of Comac, let's say. Let's see if Comac didn't come up because cities and states aren't necessarily in the dictionary. What do you like to do? Answer banks. So these are question and answer banks, so that when you're in a deposition, you're the fly on the wall and you're taking down the questioning attorney and you're taking down the witness, and that's representative of Q&A. If somebody else interjects, like Mr. Bloom came in here and he said, let's go off the record, okay, so I'd have to write off the record, and then I'd have to bring in a symbol so that the transcript reflects that we did go off the record. And then Mr. Bloom may say, back on the record, and then we're back to a Q and an A again. That's basically a deposition, a court case. If you're a CART reporter, you're actually sitting next to a hearing impaired student and they're looking at your English as the court reporter is taking down the professor. And that's during whatever school hours and whatever contract someone might have with an educational system. And that's what that looks like.
So that's the transcript. You're working off.
I am working off the software that will take my steno theory and translate into English. You'll see right here that didn't translate
right.
because towns, street names, those things, each individual will have to put them into their dictionary depending upon where they lived. So if you went to a different state, you're not going to need Comac because Comac might not be there. But I would define that in my dictionary to my area. And I would just take down a professor, take whatever is being said. And then
I always kind of assumed that these would be somehow numbers, letters, or something.
they are, but you don't.
But you don't see them.
I brought my keyboard chart. It's over there.
You don't want to.
Learn. We don't let you look. Whenever I'm teaching it, your eyes have to be up looking at me or at the screen or your book. And that's how you learn to write, because if you keep looking at the English, you're never going to get a transcript done. All you're doing, it's like ping pong. You're taking question, answer, or a professor, and you're just taking down exactly what's being said. We write verbatim. Do we put an in there? I don't, but there may be people that do. Each agency reflects how they want their transcript to be here in New York or any other state for that matter. But what I write comes up based on the dictionary that I give to our students. Mine is a little different. I've changed over the years to make things easier for me in my writing, and students can do that too. It's all personalized. But you learn the principle of how to write.
You don't want anything on the keys, because then you're going to look at those keys.
Just like
You
a
have to
regular
see who's
keyboard.
speaking. Mr. Jones might be the questioning attorney, and David could be the other attorney, and if he says objection, you don't want to be looking at your keys and miss what he says. So, but you have a chart to look at in the beginning, and once you become accustomed to that chart, you put it away and your fingers know where to go. Yep, you have a chart in the beginning. You're not thrown in there.
It's really fascinating if you think about how many keys, and it's learning the combination of those keys to be able to take someone down at 225 words per minute. Yeah. Yep. I mean, ladies and
From this side, I've never seen what it looked like.
And this would be writing real time,
Yes.
which some attorneys like. That's another plus. There is something called litigation support. What can court reporters provide to an attorney other than just a transcript? We can provide real time, so the attorney could have a hookup. Okay? We can provide a transcript that if you worked in a law firm and you saw an 8.5 by 11 transcript, we have condensed transcripts. We put 4 sheets on 1 page. So instead of having a voluminous transcript now, we shrunk it. We can provide a keyword index at the end in case they want to look something up. It's like a table of contents in the back. And because of the software that Ms. Sumner has in her program, she's able to provide all of these services.
And we talk about being lucrative. I can be writing in court a case, and I can have a scopist or a real team expert in another state transcribing and editing my document, and then it comes right back out to whoever is looking at it in a perfect form. My misstrokes like Comac, she would have them fixed like that. It's very similar to what happened with the O.J. Simpson trial. The 2 court reporters were writing, and one was in the back room cleaning up her notes, and then it was being sent out to Marcia and Mr. Cochran and everybody else that was there, Darden, everybody else who was there. It's really quite fascinating, the technology that is in the software as well.
Are you finished with this piece?
Sure.
Okay. All right.
I
Then
will
we'll
unshare.
switch back the feed to the, pay more attention to the YouTube now. The
Okay,
screen
Colleen,
switch.
we're back to
YouTube.
YouTube.
It's easier to hear from YouTube because we have the mics, et cetera. So any questions that you can possibly have?
Just like you had mentioned that there is a real need for court reporter, people with this that happen that are, I had said, and said that I was the first to ask, with AI and all these things, like, is it something that's going to become obsolete? Is it something that is, something that in the future is not really going to be necessary? But, you could answer before, but maybe the people watching at home, wherever they are,
No, we were told many, many years ago when I
40
went to
years
court
ago, right,
reporting
we
school
forget
that
forever ago.
videographers were going to take over. You're no longer needed. Videographers were going to take over. Videographers never took over. You can have a videographer with a court reporter, so you have the 2 types of technology used, but no. Attorneys want a live person there. They want a reporter to produce a transcript. They want a reporter there that's going to say, could you please read that back? They want their exhibits marked and such. You provide a great service so they have a good transcript. They pay a lot of money for a transcript, and they want an accurate transcript. AI might be used in certain areas, but I don't think it would ever be something that we would be using in court reporting. They've tried digital reporting. Digital reporting has a lot of flaws. There's a lot of inaudibles in there. You can't hear. You can't distinguish when people speak. So we don't foresee that as a problem.
There's AI in the software, just so you know, but that's something that won't affect the world. It's just how much Case Catalyst continues to increase the technology and make it easier for us as court reporters.
So then just a practical question too. Sorry. the class. So you're teaching the theory class. We are all going to get one of these. We're working from home. We're going to have this hookup, however that's going to work. Now, you say practice. So we're going to basically get kind of a gist of how this is starting to, how we start to use this. And are there practice, like, how do we practice? Like, are there somewhere we can look and say, okay, this is, example number one, try to write this transcript, or try to do this, or try to, is it like, kind of
Okay.
out how we practice?
How do you practice?
We start with theory, okay? And in theory, you will be using our online service, Canvas. I will have everything mapped out in terms of exactly what the homework is, and that will be reflective of the lesson that I taught that day.
You have a
And
textbook.
You have a textbook that you get, and in that textbook, there's also audio that matches it. So I put the audio also into Canvas so that you can practice by audio, you can practice by the book and what we consider hard copy. And it's designated, I want you to practice this exercise 5 times. But I don't want you to do that one 5 times, there's 4 in this. I want you to do the first, the second, the third, the fourth, and then go back. Because it's the dexterity that you have to gain with your fingers working together. Oh, absolutely.
Exactly how,
Right.
it's not just, practice.
No, I have everything written out for that. Yeah, the question that Colleen has is, can we rent machines? If so, how much is it per semester? That's something we're gonna have to discuss with 5 towns. If I have a sheet, a flyer, Stenograph is generally who we get our writers from. You can go to stenograph.com and there is a student flyer and it explains whether you want to get a package of the writer and the software together, and it tells you how much that is. I'm not sure with the rent, if we're doing that or not here at 5 towns at this time.
We're not renting through the college.
We're not renting
No.
through the college. So you would have to get your writer on your own. You can talk to me individually. I have previous students that are selling their student writers. There's a ton of places that I can guide you to where you can get a machine.
And always start with a student writer.
Yes, and you need a student writer. There's no reason for you to buy the professional writer that you see here. It's much more expensive than you need to spend at this time.
Difference being the memory in the writer.
There's a lot more.
Yeah.
I mean, StenEd doesn't, the student doesn't hold a dictionary. This holds a dictionary. Yeah. But your question regarding how much per semester, that was regarding the machines? Or are you talking about financial aids and payment like David
Like
said
tuition and
earlier?
fees.
Yeah.
Is that,
Oh, so just how much the machine was for the semester? That was your question. Okay, very good. Thank you, Colleen.
and a student writer to outright purchase, what's a ballpark cost?
Well, it would depend upon what kind of writer you're going to get. They can get a manual writer for inexpensively. We don't know how well it's going to write. New York is no longer, you don't have to have paper anymore. We're a paperless state, so you don't see paper on this, so everything's done in here. If they find a paper writer, they have to worry about the ink cartridge, which it's harder to find them nowadays. So if they were to purchase a stenograph writer with the program, it's $18.49, I believe it is, where they get case catalyst and a student writer. Does that ring a bell? I looked at it this morning. I thought I sent it to you, David. But there's other places that you can get writers from. eBay. I have a couple of students that are selling theirs because they have gotten to the 225 and they've bought their professional writer.
Right.
So now they're selling their student, which I feel comfortable with because I know how that student took care of something as opposed to somebody else, you know?
Right.
So. Any other questions, Colleen? Yes.
So it's the 6 credits, so it's going to be 2 nights a week for 6 semesters for the certificate.
2 nights a week would be theory, and then 2 nights a week would be speed for that amount of time.
Once you finish the theory and pass the theory, then you move on to the next speed class.
Right.
At night on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Then, if you, whatever else you take in the curriculum is 54 credits. So there are other classes in there, medical terminology, real-time writing, legal procedures. Those classes then will you allow them, if they're an evening student and that class is held during the day? Some people take a day class even though.
Yeah, this is there is
Right.
no set day program versus evening, it's a schedule. When
Right.
courses are
Okay.
offered, if you can
if
take
it
a course anytime that it's
fits
offered.
in your schedule. So semester 2, say, you see, all right, I'm going to take the 40 to 60 speed. Oh, I have Friday morning that I don't work. I can take a medical terminology class then. Now you're taking 9 credits.
Well, and when you think of a 54 credit opportunity over 6 semesters, that is 9 credits each semester. So 6 of those credits are being delivered in the evening from 5:30 or 6 until about 10. And that's you're starting off with theory in first semester, and then the remaining 5 semesters it's speed. And then about 3 other credits a semester you have to tag on in those 6 to hit it there.
And that schedule's not,
It's right. It's not. Well, that's down the road. Each semester, the schedule, you know what I
Changes.
mean, right, is built.
first semester is just going to be theory.
That's 6 times.
For a new student, yes, there might be an academic.
Well, there could be an academic that you could take that does not involve writing.
Right.
So you could take what's offered. A transcription production is offered. A legal procedures is offered. So you could take that as another night or a morning class. Yes.
Right.
And that would be
That's
all
right.
that you would take that
Right.
semester.
And again, it's all the full time 12 credit package rate, whatever is the 7,000. That's the tuition, 6250 in costs and 750 in fees, and then it's going to be 575 per credit for the students who are doing the certificate program and are not taking the 12. So, and when you look at 575 times 9 credits, you just hit over 5,000 for that amount. Just to plan ahead for what the cost would actually be. And then I guess there's just initially there's the one-time purchase of the student writer, or if there's some agency out there that rents or whatever have you, and it depends on whether you buy a new or used or whatever piece that you get.
Right. And the software. I mean, they're 2 different
Right.
amounts.
Right, and how we're progressing, is once we have hopefully the 12 students set,
Right.
then it would be, the next step would be the registration. Well, once a student has completed the admission requirements, has sent in the application, has sent in the transcription, is all ready to go. Then we register the student, and then upon registration, that's what actually kicks in the charges. Because you don't pay for anything, once you're, and then it's standard, you get a bill and we move forward. Again, student loan could be an option, lump sum payment could be an option, or which, it's very common here that our students are on they go on the payment plan, where you could take, if you're gonna owe $5,000, you take 4 semesters at $1,250, and work that into your budget if that's the case.
So tell your friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
Join your family
we need the
members.
12.
It really, a lot of our referrals do come from people who are in the field.
Graduates.
Yeah, graduates. A mom who's been a court reporter for many years
Son.
makes their children come, and we have that now, and he's doing wonderfully. So.
Yeah, my thought is, since we just brought this over to 5 towns, it hasn't had the benefit of our marketing and those kinds of things. As sure as I know my name, I'm sure we can have a huge class for the fall. I just think it would be wonderful to be able to start, again, a small group in the spring and move it through. And 12 is that magic number. And we do have a little bit of flexibility. Our spring semester starts on the 29th of January, but if we needed to, start this slightly later, we could up a couple minutes or add an extra day to get the instructional time, just for anything that we missed, and then go back into the thing. We're going to be as flexible as possible to see if we can make this happen.
Okay.
Anything else? Well, no, then we know we gave this the old college hour and it
did,
worked. You know?
we did.
So we know we're going to do the same thing next week because I know a number of students weren't able to participate today. But, planning for the hour, and I again, thank you for coming and participating. Thank you for your patience as we're learning to navigate screen changes. Yeah, and thank God to our technology experts here at FTC that could make this work for us. Yeah, with this feed and YouTube feed and every other feed that we've got going on. But thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Colleen, if you need me, you can reach out to me if you have any
Oh
questions.
yeah, anytime.
Are we all clear?
We are, I believe.
And of course, I don't have a business card, but you're more than welcome to reach out to me as well if
Yeah.
you have any further questions.